Hey there, athletes. Coach John Ferry here from Team Wilpers, coming at you a little bit away from my office today, but very excited, as always, to welcome you to our Week 2 athlete briefing for our Summer Send-Off Challenge. As always, we're going to start with a little bit of a Week 1 review here. So, started with the 20-minute distance test. And for those who went out and attempted and completed this, congratulations on setting a new baseline for your challenge. Always an amazing way to kickstart 6 weeks to follow in this time in particular. So I hope by this point you've taken the time to go in and enter your results into the portal so that you have a new set of pace zones to use throughout the remainder of this challenge. So for people who are not testing, so often in the past we've done that 30-minute progression run, which is a great workout, but I want to swap it up a little bit here. So we did the 30-minute interval run using a lot of marathon pace segments. So the goal of this workout was to get you kind of up and moving again. So if you've tested within the last 2 weeks and maybe been a little bit on a down cycle, taking some easy running, this is an opportunity to kind of get back in and start pushing a little bit, but not to be pushed too far out of your comfort zone, especially in a relatively short workout. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Our key run where we all came together, key run number 2 of week 1, our hill workout here. So these were 2-minute intervals run at easy pace. Once again, I think I talked about last week. In the past, we've done some of these workouts at really up-tempo paces. The point of this was just a nice, long, sustained effort on a hill. So we're trying to recruit the posterior chain muscles that we want to have engaged through the rest of your running, whether it's easy pace, marathon pace, faster paces, etc. You start to really get the muscular activation during these hill workouts. So that was our second key run of the week. And third was our endurance run. Always our bread and butter of every run week. Hopefully it's nice and easy and really enjoy this one. Key run number 3. A little bit of housekeeping. As always, I want everyone to be chasing a 100% completion percentage over the course of this challenge. So in order to do so, you need to get into the portal. You need to check off the box that you completed that workout. We're putting a little bit more skin in the game this time around on that completion percentage. For those of you who've been around a long time, I've been pushing this for a long, long time. However, we now have figured out the technology. We're going to be going in, we're going to be doing some periodic looks. We're going to be checking on who's got 100% completion percentage going on throughout the course of the challenge and giving a little bit of prizes out from time to time to those who are tracking well. So once again, a little bit of extra incentive to keep that 100% going because we're going to be peeking in and making sure you're staying on track. So just know, we're back there watching. For those participating in our strength challenge, I hope you're enjoying week 1. Week 2 is going to be a little bit of a build upon week 1. So the exercises themselves remain the same, but the sets, reps, weights, etc. are going to differ just a little bit. So make sure you're being thoughtful and paying attention to that differentiation between week 1 and week 2, because there will be a little bit of an uptick. Now to our week 2 workouts. So we're starting the week with another interval workout, and this time we're using marathon and half marathon paces. So as always, I want you, before you go into these key workouts, to do that lunge matrix exercise. Move your body in 3 dimensions. Really get ready to take on more vigorous activity. Then we're going into a fairly lengthy warm-up, inclusive of striders. This is going to be one more reminder that the strider is not part of the workout. It's not an interval. It's certainly not a high-intensity interval. It is part of the warm-up where we're preparing your body to get into the main set. It's just a little acceleration up to pace where you start to feel like you're moving and grooving a little bit better than easy. So our main set is relatively short intervals at marathon pace and half marathon pace. So much like our week 1 workout, this is designed to push you, but not designed to really push you too far out of your comfort zone. Because we're trying to get some benefit here, but we're also trying to have a little bit of fun and explore some paces. So these are paces, marathon, half marathon pace, in the definition of them, paces you can hold for well over an hour, if not 2, 3, 4 hours, etc. So 4 and 2-minute intervals respectively with a fairly generous rest, once again, shouldn't be too daunting. So it's going to be very helpful, very beneficial for people who are experienced runners and just trying to move the pace a little bit. Maybe you've got a great base, but just trying to start kind of pushing. Also a very great workout for people who are coming into pace for the first time, trying to kind of feel what it means to go a little bit harder and easy. So that will be our key run number 1 for week 2. Key run number 2 on our week 2. So I'm bringing in a little bit new vernacular here, certainly not a new term. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with the term fartlek, which is I think translates in from Swedish to speed play, which is exactly what we want to do with the second run of the week. So we haven't done anything quite like this in these challenges, but I thought this would be a great opportunity to introduce something that's just a little bit new. So I mentioned speed play being the definition. It's what we want to do here. We want to move through a lot of different pace ranges to kind of experience different pace ranges, see what it feels like to run harder, or run a little bit kind of more of an endurance pace. So it's going to hit everybody a little bit differently. And the reason we're doing this is just once again to get some benefit, to get some running economy, but also have a little bit of fun and maybe crack outside the things that we usually do. So our pace ranges are going to go all the way from easy pace straight through all the way to VO2 max. But the way that the workout is written, none of the pace zones, even VO2 max, has a duration which should push you, once again, way outside of your comfort zone. All of these things should be achievable. Even if the pace starts to become a little bit aggressive when we get up in threshold and VO2 max, the duration of the set itself should hopefully make it feel a little bit sustainable. This is going to be our fartlek workout number 2. So once again, a new style. We've never incorporated a workout quite like this into the challenges. So hopefully you really enjoy it. And finally, once again, our long run or our endurance run of the week. So this workout provides the most benefit when you're willing to really ease it up and reduce pace and keep it nice and easy. So when going into these things, really make sure that you are mentally okay with reducing your pace, whether you have to turn off the time on your watch and just try to go by effort. You want to make this feel as genuinely easy as possible, because once again, the easier it is, the more benefit you get out of it, and a great opportunity just to enjoy your day. Great workout to incorporate friends, family, etc., or maybe different pace ranges than you, because once again, the goal is to dial it back, make it nice and easy. So that's going to be our third key workout of the week. So quick question that came up from kind of the ether actually this week. So someone had messaged us directly and said, I'm currently enrolled in the intermediate 5K program and I'm midway through week 6 and suffered a foot injury. Unfortunately, not from running, which is the worst, right? So hopefully will only set me back a week or 2 at most. Wondering, what's the recommendation when I'm back? Should I pick up where I left off? Is there a way to pause the program, or should I start back over? So it's a great question. It obviously applies to almost all of us at some part of our running career here, where we have time off that is unexpected and unwanted. And it's always particularly irksome when it happens outside of the running itself. There's enough risk even within the sport. So the answer is always going to be that it depends. It's going to depend upon how long did you end up being off? Was it actually a week or 2? Did it end up being 3 or 4 weeks? Is the injury in this particular scenario, are you 100%? Or are you kind of continuing to nurse this injury along, which is going to be a little bit different scenario? And then finally, and this is kind of the ugly one and maybe some of the hardest to figure out sometimes, is, was there a very finite particular race goal that you were working towards? Or are you kind of just training for the sake of training, which is a little bit easier to navigate? So those are kind of 3 things you got to consider. So on almost all occasions, even with a looming race goal, I usually have kind of a 3-part return to play program for an injured or ill athlete, someone coming back from at least like a week off of illness. And it's always a return to easy miles first, of coming back in, especially if someone has a well-established base, it's returning to easy miles. The part 2 is returning to full volume that you dropped off at. So this is going to be particularly prevalent to the marathoners out there. So if you miss a week, 2 weeks due to illness or injury, come back with easy miles, then get the volume back that you left off on. And then the number 3 kind of return to play protocol here is to bring back the intensity. So in the case of a 5K plan and not knowing if there's a real finishing goal or not, so I would kind of do a very similar thing. I would return with a reduced volume of easy running, which actually I should have mentioned before. So you don't want to come back at the full volume you were at most likely. There's going to be a detraining effect. So come back at a reduced volume of easy running. Second, pop it back up, get to that full volume of easy running. Might be okay at that point if everything is great to incorporate some strider drills into your workout. And then finally, you might be able to jump back in. Otherwise, you might have to regress a couple weeks into the training plan, pick up somewhere right around there, kind of based upon how you're feeling, how you're able to handle those workouts the first time. But it is always a little bit tricky. Certainly listen to your body, be super smart and thoughtful about it, because the worst thing is to do too much too soon and ended up kind of regressing even further than where you wanted to come back at. Well, ladies and gents, we have very few questions this week, so I assume that everybody's out there and crushing it. Once again, always nice to be with you here on a Friday evening. Have an amazing week too, and I can't wait to see you back next week.